Hi there, I'm Rebecca Williamson. I'm the publisher of FiercePharma, and I'm here today with Laurel Nedelicki, VP of Business Development at WeGo Health, and Paul Marasco, Senior Director of Digital Customer Interactions at Ipsen. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Great to be here.
So Laurel, let's start with you. Can you tell us about WeGo Health and the work that you've been doing with brands?
Sure. So WeGo Health is the world's largest network of patient leaders. We have over 100,000 members in our network across virtually all health conditions. And we leverage their expertise, their skills, and their experience with healthcare stakeholders, and we connect patient leaders with brands to help them with the design and development of their consumer programs. We also work with them on social media campaigns, so they help us to activate tens of millions of healthcare consumers across social media.
Now, your company has always been known for its focus on helping pharma brands understand the patient journey through the eyes of the patient, but your services have evolved over the years. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Where we are today versus 12 years ago and even a year ago is the scale of which our programs deliver. We are now a major player with DTC digital programs, with some of our clients being the single largest digital tactic for engaging with healthcare consumers. Social media has really grown up as a channel and is a major DTC channel now, and is no longer a scary word for pharma. So we work across all social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, to drive large-scale programs. We were the first company to collaborate with patient leaders, and our mission is really to empower these patient leaders with their advocacy work. So we're really excited to drive that mission, and we're excited to drive ROI for brands. I think some people think of WeGo Health from 10 years ago when we were doing a lot of organic consumer content. That's not who we are today anymore. So now we're driving very large-scale programs on social media, driving high-value actions for brands, and really engaging tens of millions of consumers on social media.
That's interesting. So what's an example of high-value action?
A high-value action is something that's very meaningful and measurable for a brand. It's thinking beyond the click and beyond the visitor to really those actions that matter most. So it could be a doctor discussion guide or signing up for a CRM program.
Now, Paul, you've held several roles in pharma in which digital engagement through social media has been a key strategy. How have you worked with patient thought leaders and influencers to shape those initiatives?
Over the years, whenever we're looking at a social campaign, you have the option of two paths. Do you as a company want to go create that community? Do you want to go out and spend all that time and energy to build? Or do you want to shamelessly steal? And I'm always on that latter path. Using patient influencers helps us in many ways. Once, each influencer already has a community or multiple communities. So if they like your content, they will share it, and that's actually better than us trying to push content to anyone. And also, if every company I'm with wants to be patient-centric, Ipsen's no different in that. But if you want to put the patients at the core, you really need to listen to them, you need to hear them. And every time an influencer shares your content and then that is reshared within their community, you get that immediate feedback that this is of value. It's of educational value, it's meaningful enough to them, so we can then create more content that is of that value versus what we think is important.
So what advice do you have for other pharma marketers who aren't sure about how to find and engage the right patient influencers for their social media campaigns?
My advice would be, first, make sure as an organization you're ready to really take that step into social. Pharma's been lagging, but now every company is playing in this space. And I would really do some research about where the influencers are. We all have patient advocates. An influencer could be a patient advocate, but it may not be. But let's find out what's going on there. Then I usually reach out to those that have helped me throughout my career, that I trust. WeGo is one of those organizations that I will go and say, hey, this is what we're looking to do. You know, do you have the influencers in this community? and let's talk about what that right strategy is, and then working together you develop a plan to actually engage and share your content accordingly.
Now, some pharma marketers are unsure how to measure the business impact of working with patient influencers. How have you measured success, and what KPIs have you found most meaningful?
The toughest thing has always been to put an ROI on any social activity. What we have been able to do, and everyone can relate to the marketing funnel that exists. You know, when you talk about earned media impressions, that's just like paid search. It's the top of the funnel. It's broad awareness, it's casting the big net. And you can drive earned media impressions very quickly. One of the programs I've done in the past drove over 13 million earned media impressions in 9 months. However, it's really tough to take that 13 million and say, hey, I got a script from it. If you think of a marketing funnel, you can actually take your objectives throughout that marketing funnel and tie them to a social campaign. So if the lowest denominator, Laura mentioned doctor discussion guide, if that is one of your key actions that you know after so many doctor discussion guide downloads, there should be a script, you can tie that initial share to that discussion guide and then start working on ROI.
So is there anything else that you'd like to add today about your work with patient influencers generally, or with WeGo Health specifically?
I think patient influencers, my belief is that they want to work with us. They want to work with pharma and biotech companies. They want to give their opinions and they want to help. And I don't know, I've been in healthcare my whole career, and pharma never gets a good reputation. The latest survey has even dropped again. Last week I read something. So anything we can do to pull patients and caregivers into the mix, to have meaningful, transparent conversations with them, I think not only will help your brand, but will actually help the industry overall.
Patient influencers really are driven to be a voice for their community, and they can really help pharma brands make sure that they're validating everything that they're doing through patient influencers so that the campaigns they are running will resonate and will be successful. So starting with them first, it can make a really big impact on the consumer plan for brands.
So before we sign off today, if our viewers want to find out more about your company and the work that you all are doing, where should they go?
For us, it's wegohealth.com.
Well, that's all the time we have today. Thank you both for chatting today. I appreciate the conversation.
Thank you.